Today, we will explore 5 important rules of life. These rules will not only transform the course of your own life, but also bring positive changes to the lives of others. Spoken by Sinek. The first important thing is to go after what you want. Let me tell you a story. One day, my friend and I went for a run in Central Park. The Roadrunners organization holds races on weekends, and it's common for sponsors to give away free items after the race. On that particular day, when we reached the end of the run, there were free bagels and a picnic table had been set up. On one side, volunteers were handing out boxes of bagels, and on the other side, there was a long line of runners waiting for their free bagel. My friend said, "Let's get a bagel," but when he saw the line, he said, "It's too long." I said, "Free bagel." He said, "I don't want to wait in line." I repeated, "Free bagel," but he insisted it's too much time. That's when I realized that there are 2 ways to see the world. Some people focus on what they want, while others focus on the obstacles that stand in the way of getting what they want. I could only see the bagels, but he could only see the line. So I walked up, squeezed between 2 people, reached into the box, and took 2 bagels. No one said anything to me because the rule was, you can go after what you want, but you can't stop anyone else from getting what they want. Now, I had to give up choice. I didn't get to pick which bagel I took, but I didn't have to wait in line. The point is, you don't have to wait in line. If you want something, you don't have to do it the way everyone else does. You can break the rules and create your own way, but you just can't stop others from getting what they want. That's rule number 2. In the 18th century, a deadly disease spread across Europe and eventually reached America, known as purple fever or the Black Death of childbirth. This disease primarily affected women after childbirth, where they would die within 24 to 48 hours. The condition was caused by a bacterial infection, often referred to as postpartum septicemia, which entered the body after the birth of a child. This Black Death of childbed became a significant health crisis in Europe, with many hospitals experiencing high maternal mortality rates. In some hospitals, the death rates for women after childbirth were alarmingly high, and it seemed there was no solution or understanding of the cause of these deaths. For many years, the medical community had various misconceptions about the disease's origins. Some doctors believed that after childbirth, foul air or the body's heat caused the illness. Others thought that the disease was related to some spiritual or environmental cause. However, it wasn't until the mid-19th century that the true cause started to become clear. A Hungarian doctor, Ignaz Semmelweis, made a crucial discovery in the 1840s. He observed that hospitals where doctors did not wash their hands between examining patients had much higher rates of maternal deaths. He realized that the infection was being passed on by doctors who moved between treating sick patients and delivering babies without cleaning their hands. Semmelweis recommended hand washing with chlorine solution to reduce the spread of infection. His findings, however, were largely ignored by the medical community at the time. Despite Semmelweis's work, it wasn't until later in the 19th century, after the discovery of germ theory by Louis Pasteur and the development of antiseptics by Joseph Lister, that hospitals began to adopt sanitation practices, reducing the incidence of postpartum infections and improving maternal survival rates. The Black Death of childbed, or postpartum septicemia, gradually became manageable with advances in medical hygiene, and today it is no longer the deadly epidemic it once was. However, in the 18th century, it was a catastrophic health crisis that claimed the lives of many women and led to a major shift in the understanding of infection control and public health. That's rule number 3, take care of each other. In a small village, nestled at the foot of the mountains, lived a close-knit group of friends. Their bond was strong and genuine, built on trust and care for one another. Every day, they spent time together, chatting, playing games, and helping each other out. They knew that there was something special about friendship, something that could only be found when people truly took care of one another. One day, a massive storm hit the village. The winds howled and heavy rain began to fall. The roofs of the houses started to shake and snow began to fall heavily. The villagers were scared, and many began to worry about their safety, but among this chaos, The friends knew that the most important thing was to take care of each other. Monira, one of the young women in the village, noticed that her friend Sumi was stuck in her house all alone. She immediately decided to check on her. Sumi had been feeling fearful and didn't want to stay alone during the storm. Monira rushed over to her house and comforted her. "Don't worry, I'm here with you," Monira said. Sumi felt a sense of peace, and together they sat down with a cup of hot tea, waiting out the storm. This act of kindness spread throughout the group of friends. Ryan, another close friend, heard about Sumi's fear and quickly decided to help. He went to his house and gathered blankets, food, and warm clothes, bringing them to his friends in need. One by one, they all came together, helping, supporting, and sharing with one another. As the storm raged on, the friends realized that true friendship wasn't just about enjoying the good times together. It was also about being there for each other during the tough times. They understood that true friendship meant providing support, love, and comfort no matter the situation. From that day on, the saying, "take care of each other," became their life motto. It wasn't just about helping when times were tough, but about showing kindness and support every day. They knew that no matter what, they could always rely on each other, and that made their friendship even stronger. As the days went by, their bond grew deeper, and they continued to be there for one another, understanding that a true friend is someone who not only shares joy, but also stands by you in times of difficulty. That's rule number 4. Nelson Mandela is widely regarded as a particularly special case study in the world of leadership, and his life story is an incredible example of resilience, perseverance, and transformative leadership. Born in 1918 in the village of Mvezo, in the Eastern Cape of South Africa, Mandela grew up during a time when South Africa was under the control of apartheid, a system of racial segregation and discrimination that kept Black South Africans oppressed. Despite his humble beginnings, Mandela's leadership journey began early on, when he moved to Johannesburg to study law and soon became involved in the political movement against apartheid. Mandela's commitment to fighting for justice and equality led him to become a prominent leader of the African National Congress, ANC, which was the primary resistance movement against apartheid. In 1962, he was arrested and convicted of sabotage and attempting to overthrow the government. He was sentenced to life imprisonment and sent to the infamous Robben Island prison. While incarcerated, Mandela's leadership remained powerful. Even though he was physically confined, his influence continued to grow both in South Africa and internationally. His ability to remain steadfast in his beliefs and principles, despite the harsh conditions he endured, turned him into a symbol of the anti-apartheid struggle. Mandela spent 27 years in prison, and during this time, his resolve only strengthened. He became a symbol of hope for millions of oppressed people, and his stance on forgiveness and reconciliation, rather than revenge, became a cornerstone of his leadership philosophy. In the late 1980s and early 1990s, as the global anti-apartheid movement gained momentum, pressure on the South African government increased. In 1990, Mandela was released from prison, and the country was on the brink of change. The following years were marked by intense negotiations between the apartheid government and the ANC, with Mandela emerging as a key figure in the process of establishing a new, democratic South Africa. In 1994, after decades of struggle, South Africa held its first multiracial elections, and Mandela was elected as the country's first Black president. As president, Mandela's leadership style was characterized by inclusiveness, unity, and reconciliation. Rather than seeking retribution against those who had oppressed him and his people, he focused on healing the wounds of the nation. His decision to support the continuation of South Africa's national rugby team, which was historically associated with apartheid, was a powerful symbolic act of national unity. It showed that true leadership is not about personal gain or victory, but about fostering understanding and collaboration for the common good. Mandela's leadership legacy is built on his unwavering commitment to justice, equality, and peace. His ability to forgive, to think beyond his own suffering, and to inspire a nation to move forward together in harmony remains one of the most powerful examples of leadership in modern history. His life serves as a testament to the idea that leadership is not just about holding power, but about empowering others, transcending divisions and striving for the collective well-being of society. That's rule number 5. Once, a former Undersecretary of Defense was invited to speak at a large conference. As he took the stage, holding a simple paper cup of coffee in his hand, he began to share a profound story. He said, 5 years ago, when I attended this very same conference, I was the Undersecretary of Defense. Back then, I was given a first-class ticket. At the airport, someone was there to carry my luggage. When I arrived at the venue, I was escorted to a luxurious hotel. And when it was time for my speech, I was served coffee in a beautiful ceramic cup. But this time things are different. I'm no longer the Undersecretary of Defense. I bought an economy class ticket with my own money. There was no one at the airport to carry my bags. I had to do it myself. I stayed in a modest hotel this time, and today, when I asked for coffee, a volunteer handed me this paper cup. He paused for a moment, then continued, That ceramic cup was never really for me. It was for the position I held. I was simply the temporary custodian of that role. The reality is, I'm just a regular person, and this paper cup is what I truly deserve. We need to remember that the recognition, privileges, and respect we receive are often tied to the positions we hold, not to who we are as individuals. Once we leave those roles behind, so do the perks that come with them. Therefore, we must always remain humble and grounded. The audience fell silent, deeply moved by his words. This story reminds us that humility and gratitude are far more valuable than any title or position. Our true worth is defined not by the roles we hold, but by how we treat others and stay true to ourselves. As we journey through life, it's easy to get caught up in chasing titles, privileges, and recognition. But the real lessons lie in how we choose to navigate the challenges, connect with others, and remain true to ourselves. Whether it's seeing the opportunity amidst obstacles, like reaching for a bagel, taking care of those around us during life's storms, or leading with integrity and forgiveness as Mandela did, each story reminds us of the values that truly matter. At the core, life is not about the roles we play or the accolades we collect. It's about the impact we leave behind, the kindness we extend, the resilience we show, and the humility we carry. So as you step forward, remember this: don't just chase success, chase purpose. Don't just seek greatness, seek goodness. And most importantly, stay grounded, stay humble, and never forget, life's most profound meaning comes not from what you have, but from how you touch the lives of others. Because at the end of the day, what truly defines us is not the ceramic cup or the paper cup, it's the value we bring to the world. We look at life, we realize that at the core of everything lies our thoughts, our perspectives, and our actions. These stories have taught us how to see opportunities amidst challenges, how to stand by one another, and how humility, kindness, and leadership can transform the world. At this moment, ask yourself, what is your goal? What story are you about to write? Remember, life will not judge us by our position or title. Life will judge us by how much light we've brought into the lives of others, how we've made this world a little better with love, kindness, and compassion. So let today mark the beginning of a new journey, one where you do not just live for yourself, but for this world, for others, and for the growth of your own soul. Because true success is not about what you take, it's about what you give. If you truly want to transform your life from average to extraordinary, I highly recommend watching Simon Sinek's 5 Steps to Go From Average to Fortune. In this video, he beautifully explains how small, consistent steps can lead to massive success over time. This isn't just a video, it's a guide that can shift your mindset and give you the clarity and strength to move forward in every area of your life. So why wait? Check out the video and start your journey toward greatness today. I've added the link in the description. Watch it and take your first step now.